Hi students, welcome in chemistry classes and we are seeing a very important topic that was demanded by the students of IIT JAM exam. But this is equally important for all the exams that are for the MSc entrances as well as for CSIR NET exam, GATE exam, TIFR exam, etc. Okay, so if you are preparing for any of them, then you can see this video. Okay, and here we will give only the all vital topics that you need here and the numericals that I have taken from different exams, right? So see here, what we have to study here? We are studying here the mole concept, the stoichiometry and the concentration terms that all are needed for the volumetric analysis. Different type of questions you will see here. Okay. So firstly we should understand what is mole concept and why we need mole concept. Why we need mole? Okay. Mole is a very important unit. Okay. That is used for numbering or counting the number of atoms or the molecules or the ions. Any elementary entity. Okay, see here, we know the atomic masses or the molar masses we know. Okay, but by the molar masses we cannot find any decision in a chemical reaction. Suppose a reaction is happening between the H2 and O2 to form H2O. This is H2 and this is O2. These are forming H2O, right? Two molecules, two atoms. Sorry, these are two atoms. Two atoms of hydrogen and one atom of oxygen are here combining to form one molecule of H2O, right? Now, if we are taking the same weight of the hydrogen and same weight of oxygen, then what will be the result? We know in the same weight of the hydrogen, there will be a larger number of atoms as compared to the same weight that we are taking of oxygen. There will be a little number of atoms or molecules as compared to hydrogen. Why? Because this will have a little molar mass as compared to oxygen, right? So there will be a larger number of hydrogen atoms as compared to oxygen. Okay, so we cannot count the atoms and it will take a larger times and we needs the number of atoms. Okay, we needs a number of molecules. So how the reaction is proceeding? For this, we need the mole concept and several theories before the mole concept has been given. And these theories, these laws are, see here, one by one. This first law is the law of definite proportion. According to this law, a given compound always contains exactly the same proportion of elements by weight. It means, suppose if we are taking water molecule, okay, this is the water molecule H2O. If we are taking it from the rainwater or we are taking it from the seawater or we are taking it from the pond, from anywhere we are taking the water molecule, it will always have two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom, right? So it will have a molar mass ratio of 2 is to 16. It means it will have a ratio of 1 is to 8. In all the cases, from wherever you are taking the water molecule, it will have a ratio of 1 is to 8 of the weight of the two elements. This is the law of definite proportion. Okay. Now see the second law. What is this law? This law says law of multiple proportion. This says that if two elements can combine in more than one form to form more than one compound, then the masses of elements that combines with fixed masses of another element are in a simple ratio of small whole number. What is meaning of this? Understand it. See here. Suppose we are taking SO2 and SO3, right? Two different compounds, but both are having the same elements, sulfur and oxygen. Okay. Now see here. Here is the one atom of sulfur and same is here. And here two oxygen atoms are combining and here three. Now see the weight. Here the mass of the oxygen will be 32 and here the mass is 48, right? So the mass is in the ratio of 2 is to 3. Okay. So this is the law. It means there will be a simple ratio that will be in the small whole numbers like this 2 is to 3. Okay. In this manner they will always combine, right? Now see the third law. The third law is the Lussac's law of gaseous volume that says at same temperature and same pressure, gases combines in a simple ratio of their volume in a chemical reaction. It means if we are taking two gases that are at the same temperature and same pressure, suppose we are taking N2 and H2, they are forming NH3. This is the Haber's process, right? Okay. Now this will be 3H2 and this will be 2NH3, right? So in this reaction, if we see the simplicity, This will be the simplicity that one volume of the nitrogen is combining with 3 volumes of the hydrogen to form 2 volumes of the NH3. It means the gases are combining a simple ratio of their volume in a chemical reaction. Okay, so we can write these reactions in just this manner. Okay, now see the fourth law. The fourth law is very important, that is Avogadro's law. What this law says? This law says that the equal volume of all the gases at the same temperature and same pressure contains the same number of molecules. What is the meaning of this? See here. Suppose we are taking H2 gas, okay, and we are taking N2, or we are taking O2 at same temperature and same pressure. Okay, we are taking the gases and all have the same volume. It means this is one volume, this is one volume, and this is one volume. So all will have the same number of molecules, right? All will have the same number of volumes. This is the Avogadro's law. Now we comes to our main topic, that is mole concept. Okay, now see the mole concept. What is mole concept? According to the IUPAC, the definition of mole is that 1 mole amount of substance which contains as many entities as there are atoms in 12 grams of C12 isotopes. What is meaning of this entity? Entity means there may be any particle. Okay, this particle may be atom, this particle may be molecule, or this may be ion. Anyone can be here. Okay, this may be ion, right? Any type of particle, number of, we have to count their numbers, right? So if we are taking an amount, this is the amount of the sample that we are taking, and if it has the same number of atoms or molecules or ions as there are present in the 12 grams of C12 isotope, okay, in this the number that are present and here the numbers that are present are same, then they are called 1 mole. Okay, and one important thing is that at STP 1 mole will have 6.02 into 10 to power 23 elementary entities. It means if this sample has 1 mole, if it has 1 mole, then this 1 mole will have 6.02 into 10 to power 23 molecules or ions or atoms if we are taking O2 gas. Okay, and we know that the naturally occurring O2 gas will have O2 molecules. This is present in this form. So this is a molecule. So if we are taking 1 mole of this, then it will have 6.02 into 10 to power 23 molecules. Why? Because this is present in the molecular form. If we are taking atoms, then they will have the 6.02 into 10 to power 23 atoms, right? So this thing you should remember. Okay, next important topic is at STP, 1 mole of each gas occupies 22.4 liters of any gas, whether we are taking H2 or we are taking O2 or we are taking N2. Any of these we are taking. Okay, in all of them, there will be 22.4 liter volume. It means if we are taking 1 mole of them, right? Any of these gases, all will have 22.4 liter, right? Next thing, 1 mole of each substance weighs equal to its molecular weight. It means in 1 mole of any of the substance, suppose we are taking N2S, okay, if we are taking 1 mole of it, 1 mole is represented in this manner, okay, if we are taking 1 mole of N2, then it will have the molecular weight 28 gram. So it will be equal to this, right? This 1 mole will be equal to its molecular weight in grams, right? Okay, now this whole things can be represented in the basis of the diagram. If you remember this diagram, then you can do all the questions based on the moles very easily. Suppose if you have given the number of moles, right? You have given the number of moles and you have to find out the weight in grams. Then what you have to do? Just you have to multiply it with the molecular weight. Okay, so that you can find out the weight in grams, right? But if you have given the weight in grams and you have to find out the number of moles, then you have to divide it by molecular weight, okay, so that you can find out. Suppose we have given here 28 grams of N2, okay, and we have to find out its number of mole, then you know its molecular weight is 28, just you have to divide it by 28 and you can find out this will be 1 mole, right? Similarly, if you have given 1 mole of N2 and you have to find out weight, then you should multiply it with the molecular weight and you can find out the weight in grams, right? Okay, then the next thing, if you have given the number of molecules or number of atoms and you have to find out the number of moles, then just you have to multiply it with the Avogadro number. Avogadro number is represented by Na, and its value you all know is 6.02 into 10 to power 23. This is the value of Avogadro number. So, sorry, if you have to find out the number of moles, then you have to here divide it. Okay, not multiply, you have to divide by the Avogadro number. But if you have to find out the number of molecules, then you have to multiply it with the Avogadro number, right? Okay, now the see next thing, if you have given a volume occupied in liter of a gas, okay, you have given, then you have to find out the number of moles. Suppose we have given 22.4 liters of H2, right? Then you have to just divide it by 22.4, okay, so that you can find out number of moles. And if you have given number of moles and you have to find out the volume, then just you have to multiply it with 22.4. But you have to remember that the volume should be in liter. Okay, so this is the way by which you can find out the number of moles. Now comes to our next topic. The next thing that is important is the concentration terms. Okay, there may be three types of concentration terms. One is percentage based, another one are these are much more important, and the third one that is less important is very small concentration term. When a little traces of elements are present in a large amount of solution, then these are used. These are parts per million, parts per billion, and parts per thousand. Okay, these are not so much important, so we will talk about these two terms. Okay, firstly we have to see these terms, percentage based terms. First is the weight by weight. It means percentage by mass. What is mean of it? See, this small w represent the mass of the solute, and this capital W represent the mass of the solution. So if the mass of solute we have to find out in 100 grams of solvent solution, okay, this is called percentage by mass. It means what is the mass of solute that is present in 100 grams of solution. For this, what is the formula? Formula is this, just you have to divide. This is the weight of, this is small w, okay, this is the weight of solute. Now divide it with the weight of the solution. This is capital W, it means weight of solvent, and this is the weight of solute, and multiply it with 100, okay, so that you can get the percentage by mass. Okay, next term is the volume by volume. It means percentage by volume. That is, we have to see the volume of the solute in ml that is present in 100 ml of solution. For this, what you have to apply? Just you have to divide the volume of the solute by the volume of the solution. This is the volume of solution, okay, and this is the volume of solute, and this is the volume of solution, and multiply it with 100, okay, so that you can get the percentage by volume. Next thing is the percentage mass by volume, that is shown by small w divided by capital V. Small w means the weight of solute and capital V means the volume of the solution. It means we have to see the mass of the solute in grams that is dissolved in 100 ml of solution. For this, what will be the formula? We have to see the mass of the solute and divide it by volume of the solution and multiply it with the 100. Okay, this should be in ml, okay, and this should be in grams, right? Now see another important term, that is normality. Normality is very important term, that is number of gram equivalents of solute that is present in 1 liter of solution. And for this, what you have to do? Just you have to see here number of gram equivalents of solute and divided by the volume of the solution, right? This should be in liter, right? So that you can get the normality. This is the formula for the normality, right? If you have not given the gram equivalents, you don't know this, then you can take the mass of the solute and then divide it by the equivalent mass and multiply it with the volume of the solution. Okay, now see the next important term, that is molarity, and it is a very important term, that is number of moles of solute in 1 liter of solution. Okay, we have to see the number of moles of solute in 1 liter of solution. So just keep in mind, it is shown by capital M, and this will be equal to, here we have to take the number of moles of solute, right? And then divided by the volume, that should be in liter. If you don't know the number of moles, then what you can take? You can take the weight in gram of solute and divide it by its molecular weight, and then multiply it with the volume, that is in liters, right? Now see the next term, that is molality. See here is the number of moles of solute in 1000 grams of solvent. Here we have taken the solvent, okay, not solution, and here is this is in grams, right? So remember this thing, and molality is written in small m, right? So this will be the number of moles of solute, and then divided by the, what is this, 1000 grams is given to us, okay? So you have to see here the amount of the solvent in kg, or we can say it weight of solvent, that should be in kg. If it is given in grams, then you should multiply it with 1000, right? So this should be in the kg, right? Now the next term is the mole fraction. What is the mole fraction? Mole fraction is shown by x. This is shown by small m, and this molarity is shown by capital M, right? So see here, what is the mole fraction? The ratio of number of moles of one component to the total number of moles of all the components present in the solution is called the mole fraction of that component, right? And it is unitless. It will not have any unit. So see here, suppose we have to see the mole fraction of the solute. The mole fraction of solute is shown by xb, okay, and this will be equal to number of moles of solute, this is shown by small l, divided by number of moles of solute plus number of moles of solvent, okay. And if we have given the mole fraction of solvent, we have to find out, then the formula will be number of moles of solvent divided by number of moles of solute plus number of moles of solvent. And this is only in that case where there is only one solute present in the solvent, right? Now the last term is the strength of the solution, that is shown by S, and this is the mass of the solute in grams dissolved in 1 liter of solution, and it is shown by grams per liter. It means if we have to show this, this will be equal to mass of the solute. Here you have to take the mass of solute, and that should be in grams, right? And divided by the volume of the solution, okay, and this should be in liters, right? So this is the last term. Now we have to see one more important topic. The next important topic is the concept of dilution. Dilution means, suppose we have taken here a beaker and here the solution is present, okay. The solution is a mixture of solute and the solvent, right? And we are now pouring much more solvent here, okay, so that the amount of solvent will now increase, right? There is an increase in the amount of solvent. It means this solution now get diluted, right? By the increase in the amount of the solvent, the solution will get diluted, right? So the terms that remains unchanged before and after the dilution. See here, the amount of the solute, that will remain unchanged because the amount of solute is as it is, right? So the number of moles of the solute will also remain as it is, and the number of gram equivalents of the solute will also remain as it is. Now see the next thing, the condition of the dilution. It means after and before the dilution, the molarity is M1 and the volume is V1, and this is after dilution. The molarity is M2 and the volume is V2. Then M1 V1 will be equal to M2 V2. Similarly, if the normality before the dilution is N1 and the volume is V1, and after dilution the normality is N2 and the volume is V2, then N1 V1 will be equal to N2 V2. Okay, now the next term is concept of mixing of solution. If we are mixing two solutions, as we have seen in the case of the acid and bases, we take one acid in a beaker, okay, here, and we are adding to it the base. This happens, okay, in the neutralization process. So this will have the normality Na and it will have a volume Va, and now we are adding to it a base that will have a normality Nb and the volume Vb. Okay, so after the complete neutralization, the NaVa will be equal to NbBb. Okay, it means the number of millimoles of this acid will be equal to number of millimoles of the base. Right, now we have to do the questions. All right, now we are seeing some problems based from IIT JAM question paper. We have taken from DIFR question paper, CSIR NET question paper and GATE question paper. Right, so see here this question from IIT JAM 2014's question paper. What is the question? The questions are generally basic. Okay, so you can do these questions quite easily. The mass of glycine required to make 250 ml of 0.015 solution. Okay, this will be 0.015 m solution. Okay, so now see here the glycine. Firstly write down its formula. What will be its formula? NH2CH2 COOH. You should know this, right? And if you are calculating its molecular weight, then its molecular weight will come around 75, right? It means 75 grams, right? So if we want to make 1 liter 0.015 m solution, then for this we need 0.015 and multiply it with the molecular weight 75 so that we can find out the grams as I have told you. So this will be equal to 1.125 grams, right? Okay, but we have to make only 250 mls and this is for 1 liter. So what you have to do? You have to make only 1/4, so just divide it by 4. Okay, so that you will get your answer and the answer will be 0.281 grams. Okay, so this will be your answer. Now see the next question. Okay, now see this question from TIFR 2012 question paper. The molecular weight of ethanol is 46 and its density is 0.8 grams per centimeter cubes. What would be the molar concentration of ethanol in a 23% V by V wine solution? Okay, we have given this thing. Percentage, volume by volume percentage is 23%. It means we can say that 23 mls of ethanol are present in 100 mls of wine, right? And next thing that we have given is the density, that is 0.08 grams per centimeter cube. Okay, these two things are given to us. So now we can find out the weight of ethanol and this will be equal to 23 divided by 100 into 0.8. So it will be equal to, now firstly do this thing, this is in mls. Okay, this is in mls. Okay, so firstly I am writing here it is in liters. So what you have to do? 23 divided by 100 into 0.8 into multiply it with 10 to power 3. Okay, so that this will be quite easier. Now you can write down this will be equal to 184 grams. Okay, here this was per ml. Now this is grams per liter. Okay, so now you have to see its mole. Okay, this is 184 grams per liter. Now you have to find out the number of moles. Okay, so what you have to do? Just you have to divide it by its molecular weight. 144 divided by, you have given the molecular weight that is 46. Okay, so you will get 4. It means the solution is 4m. Okay, 4 molar solution you have given, right? This will be the answer. Now see the next question. The molarity of water in water alcohol mixture. We have given a mixture of water and alcohol that is 15.85 VV. It means percentage V by V is 15.85. What is meaning of it? It means 15.85 mls of water is present in 100 mls of solution, right? Okay, now we know that the density of the water is 1 grams per centimeter cube. Okay, so we can write it like 15.85 grams. Okay, and firstly we should know that the molarity of pure water, if we have given the 100% water, then its molarity, we all know what is the molarity of it. Just divide 100 by 18, its molecular weight, you will get it 55.5. So this is the molarity of 100% water, okay, that we know. And now we have to find out the molarity of this mixture, that is a mixture of water and alcohol. We have to find out its molarity. So what you have to do? 15.85 divided by 100 and then multiply it with 55.5. Okay, so what you are getting now? 8.5 moles per liter. This will be your answer, right? Now see the next question. See here, this question, the number of electrons in 80 ml of H2O is. This question is from TIFR 2016 question paper. So see here, for this what you have to do? You know, in the one molecule of water, if we are taking one molecule of H2O, there will be number of electrons will be 10 electrons. Why? 2 electrons from 2 hydrogens and 8 electrons from the oxygen. So total will be 10 electrons, right? Okay. Now we have given 18 mLs. 18 mLs of H2O means 18 grams because density is 1. Okay, so this will be equal to 18 grams, right? So 18 grams, we can see this is the molecular weight of H2O. Okay, so this will be equal to 1 mole, right? Just divided by 18. So you are getting 1 mole of H2O you have given, and we know that in the 1 mole of anything there are 6.02 into 10 to power 23 entities. It means 23 molecules are here, right? Okay, so now you know that in one molecule there are 10 electrons. So in these molecules the number of electrons will be just multiply by 10. So it will be equal to 60.02 into 10 to power 23 electrons. This will be your answer. Okay. Now see the next question. We have given here the genome of a bacterium is composed of a single DNA molecule, which is, this will be 10 to power 9 BP long. Okay, how many moles of genomic DNA is present in the bacterium? And this question was asked in CSIR NET 2015 question paper. Okay, see here, we have given that the bacterium is composed of single DNA. It means number of molecules of DNA is 1. We have given only one molecule, right? And we know that in 1 mole is equal to 6.02 into 10 to power 23 molecules, right? This is the Avogadro number, and we have given only one molecule. So what you have to do? We have to find out the number of moles, right? So for number of moles, just you have to divide 1 by 6.02 into 10 to power 23. Okay, so you are getting your answer, that will be 1 by 6 into 10 to power minus 23. So this will be your answer. Okay, so in this way you have to do all the questions. I hope you all like this video and all the questions will be sorted out now. And if you find any problem, you can comment us, and if you like this video, please share it and please subscribe the channel. Thank you.